Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Bola bola. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Go to play. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Go ahead. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Sai. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Se Advaita Gadadhar Sivas Adi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Sri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giridharan ki jai, Brindavan Dham ki jai, Navadvip Dham ki jai, Swami Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Tulasi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Swami Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Adabo. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Kus Prabhu, Dhanava Pranam. Oh, glories.
You are welcome, brothers and sisters. So I put the verse on the screen so we can start.
Okay, but my obeisances to your beers first.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Because that's the first thing I saw. Oh, glories.
Hare Krishna.
Jai. No, Krishna Padaya, Krishna Prasad, Vitalu Sumanta Bhakti, Sanatana, Krishna Padaya. Vanchakabhatra, Vanchakabhatra. Narayana Namaskritya, Naram Chaiva, Narottama, Devin Saraswatin Vyasam, Tato Jayam, Tirayet. Oh, should I chant Jayarada Madhava?
Prabhu, you are on air. Prabhupada already chanted. Just start the class.
Okay. Vanchakabhatra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottama Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nasta Prayasura Bhadrasu Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya Bhagavati Utamas Loke Bhakti Bhavati Nastikim. Yes, today we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 8th chapter, verse number 21. I read the slogan. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Word for word translation. Krishnaya, the Supreme Lord, Vasudevaya, unto the son of Vasudeva, Devakinandanaya, unto the son of Devaki, Cha and Nanda Gopa, Nanda and the cowherd men, Kumaraya, unto their son, Govindaya, unto the personality of Godhead, who enlivens the cows and the senses, Namaha, respectful obeisances. Namaha, okay, Namaha, obeisances. Translation and purport by Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Let me therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who has become the son of Vasudeva, the pleasure of Devaki, the boy of Nanda, and the other cowherd men of Brindavan, and the enlivener of the cows and the senses. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Lord, being thus unapproachable by any material assets, out of unbounded and costless mercy, descends on the earth as He is, in order to show His special mercy upon His unalloyed devotees and to diminish the upsurges of the demoniac persons. Queen Kunti specifically adores the incarnation or descent of Lord Krishna above all other incarnations, because in this particular incarnation is more approachable. In the Rama incarnation, he remained a king's son from his very childhood. But in the incarnation of Krishna, although he was the son of a king, he at once left the shelter of his real father and mother, King Devaki and King Vasudeva and Queen Devaki, just after his appearance, and went to the lap of Yasoda Mai to play the part of an ordinary cowherd boy in the blessed Vrajabhumi, which is very sanctified because of his childhood pastimes. Therefore, Lord Krishna is more merciful than Lord Rama. He was undoubtedly very kind to Kunti's brother, Vasudeva, and the family. He had not become the son of Vasudeva. Had he not become the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, Queen Kunti could not claim him to be her nephew, and thus address Krishna in parental affection. But Nanda and Yasoda are more fortunate because they could relish the Lord's childhood pastimes, which are more attractive than all other pastimes. There is no parallel to his childhood pastimes as exhibited at Vrajabhumi, which are the prototypes of his eternal affairs in the original Krishna Loka, described as the Chintamani Dham in the Brahma Samhita 529. Lord Sri Krishna descended himself at Vrajabhumi with all his transcendental entourage and paraphernalia. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore confirmed that no one is as fortunate as the residents of Vrajabhumi, and specifically the cowherd girls who dedicated their everything for the satisfaction of the Lord. His pastime with Nanda and Yasoda, and his pastime with the cowherd men, and especially with the cowherd boys and the cows, have caused him to be known as Govinda. Lord Krishna as Govinda is more inclined to the Brahmanas and the cows, indicating thereby that human prosperity depends more on these two items, namely Brahmanical culture and cow protection. Lord Krishna is never satisfied where these are lacking. Om Agena Timrandasya Gena Gena Salakaya Chaksum Litayana Tasmai Sri Gurubena Sri Chaitanya Mano Vistan Sapitayana Bhutalis Rupam Padamatya Dadati Swa Padantika Mukam Karutu Bachalam Angum Langia Tigri Yad Kripatha Ambanti Sri Guru Banchakapa Turubel Chakri Pasindibya Sapachapa Chitanam Putanandu Pashtam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Gura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, this morning we welcome everyone to this Bhagavatam class. Here we have been dealing with the prayers of Queen Kunti from verses 18 down, about 3 verses behind. But before then, we saw how Lord Krishna appeared in the womb of Uttara to protect Parishit, the embryo. So this is a very wonderful test, and I feel this is a special opportunity given me to try to meditate on it and say something for all of us to deliberate on. So thank you very much for giving me this chance. Yeah, the translation reads that, let me therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who has become the son of Vasudeva, the pleasure of Devaki, the boy of Nanda, and the other cowherd men of Brindavan, and the enlivener of the cows and the senses. So if you look at it critically, this particular translation has about 6 or more separate components. And each component is big enough to take the whole time of the Bhagavatam. But for brevity, I will just touch on them, try to see how to go about them all one by one, and see how we can put everything together and see what we can learn from it. So the first component I can see clearly here is that when he said, let me therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, it means you have been talking about something that the Lord cannot be approached by mental speculators. This is the first point. The Lord cannot be approached by mental speculators. It's a very big fact. Why? Because the Lord is Adokshaja. It cannot be captured by the efforts of the senses, including the mind. So here, if the Lord cannot be captured by the mental speculators, very powerful munis and thinkers, then how can we in Kali Yuga, who are so distracted by the forces and components of the age of Kali, understanding? It is practically impossible for us, but those great thinkers who are really great thinkers, they cannot comprehend the Lord. So how much more we? So this is a very important point here. But there is a process. Even though we are not fit to approach the Lord, there is a process. And what is that process? The process is that we must try to get the mercy of the Lord. Unless we get the mercy of the Lord, we can never approach, we can never understand, we can never comprehend the Lord. So this is the first component. We need to seek for the mercy of the Lord. And the mercy of the Lord you can get through its representative, bona fide representatives. The spiritual masters. The spiritual masters are in a line of disciplined succession. And that it is said that the whole material world is like a big ocean of nescience. And the purpose of life is to cross this ocean. The spiritual masters and the pure devotees have been able to cross. They know the other side, they know this side, and they know the process of crossing. But they are so merciful and compassionate that when they cross, they never remove the boat. They are not selfish. They feel that on their level, they see that the suffering of the conditioned souls is because they do not understand their real identity, and they have come to understand it as pure devotees. So whatever they wish for others, whatever they wish for themselves, they wish for others. This is the compassion potency of the Lord. And it is on this potency that this International Society for Krishna Consciousness is born. The pure devotees cannot tolerate seeing the suffering of the conditioned souls. Therefore, when they cross, they don't take the boat away. They leave it behind. They leave the boat behind. And there is a process. They try to establish the process. They protect the process. They build walls around the process. Because if the process is disturbed, then people will be misled. Therefore, the pure devotees in a chain of param are protecting this process. And they are propagating this process. And they are giving it to everyone who is actually fortunate. So this is the first point. Therefore, in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 14th chapter, verse number 29, there is a clear definition. Atapite deva padambuja dwaja prasada lesa nugrihita evahi janati tatwam bhagavan mahino nachaya ekwapi chiram vichimbam. My Lord, if one is favored by even a slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many, many years. So those who have even a little trace, just a little trace of the mercy of the lotus feet of the Lord, they can understand the greatness of the Lord. So we should try to understand. And to understand and get the mercy of the Lord in this way, we need to approach the bona fide spiritual master. Approaching the bona fide spiritual master means walking under his direction. When he gives instructions, we try to carry out the instructions of the spiritual master as much as possible, prayerfully, heartily. Then we eventually arrive. We attract their mercy. And when their mercy is bestowed on us, all that appears to be impossible become possible. The mercy of the Lord and the pure devotees make all apparently impossible things to become possible. Therefore, we need their mercy. This is the first component of this verse. The example is given that for a child to touch the head of an elephant. This example is in the Sri Upanishad. For the child to touch the head of an elephant is practically impossible, even for grown-up men, because the elephant is very huge. So that kind of effort is like dwarf grabbing for the moon. But if the elephant, out of costless mercy, decide to kneel down, when the elephant, gigantic elephant kneels down, the child will be able to touch his head. So this is the process. The deities are the mercy incarnation of the Lord. Since we cannot understand it, since we are not advanced, since we are not very purified, the Lord appears in the form of the deity, giving us a chance to serve him. And the temples, all our ISKCON temples, are platforms established, by the Paramparam to provide this opportunity for the fortunate souls. So we should take advantage of it. We are fortunate souls who have gotten the chance to touch the Lord, even though we are not qualified, to serve him, to try to do some services. And just like the beasts that were human, that were welcoming Balaram and Krishna and the cowherd boys into the forest, were practically disturbing the Lord. Singing very close, following him all this time, making a lot of. But the Lord accepted it. He accepted it, allowed them to come into his groove inside the inner chambers to continue to sing. So similarly, the efforts we are making in serving the Lord, they are full of faults. But the Lord does not consider those offenses saber apparat. The Lord doesn't consider them seriously. He just looks at our hearts and he responds to our innermost feelings and he overlooks our shortcomings. So under no circumstance should we give up our service to the Lord. The Lord has made it possible by bringing himself, allowing us to touch him, to serve him in the temple environment. We should take full advantage and never try to destroy what the Lord has said, the mercy of the Lord. We should take advantage and allow others to also take advantage. So this is the first point. The second point is this. The Lord who has become the son of Vasudeva. The Lord has become the son of Vasudeva and the pleasure of Devaki. The son of Vasudeva and the pleasure of Devaki. Actually, the Lord is unborn, as we know. But as we are saying in the purport here, in the purport for today, that out of his costless mercy, the Lord appeared in our midst and in a form that we can easily approach. So Queen Kunti is saying that this particular form of Krishna with Balaram is so merciful. It's a merciful form of the Lord, merciful manifestation, most merciful. In fact, more merciful than Lord Ramachandra, because to approach a king is very difficult. But when Krishna appeared, though he appeared to a king and a queen, Vasudeva and Devaki, he immediately left their shelter and took shelter of Yasoda and Nanda as an ordinary cowherd boy, giving the opportunity for every other child who is fortunate to be there to take part in associating with him, playing with him, eating with him, singing with him, playing as friends. So this particular form, were it not for this particular form, Queen Kunti wouldn't have been able to call him nephew or uncle or something like that. A relative, parental affection. Were it not for this form. Therefore, this form is more merciful. In other words, the form that appeared to Devaki and Vasudeva, that particular form was in the mood of awe and reverence. That's why he appeared in his four-hand forms, and immediately they understood him to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, started making a lot of prayers. You see, a lot of prayers. They are conscious that this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How can we hide him? How can we tell people that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has taken birth among us? They will scorn us. They will laugh at us. So let us hide him. Please hide this your four hands. Become an ordinary child. If you remain an ordinary child, Kamsa will come and attempt to kill him. So immediately the Lord transformed into a child, ordinary child, so-called ordinary child. The Supreme Lord, in his drama, transformed into a so-called ordinary child and gave them instruction. Do like this, carry me across to the other side of the river and exchange me. Like he gave them direct instruction. And immediately they were not thinking, we are in the prison. How can we open all these locks to go out of this prison and to cross the river in the first place? They didn't think twice. They just carried the Lord. Vasudeva carried the Lord on himself, and he started going. As he started going, all the doors started opening. All the gate men started falling asleep. So if we had determined to carry out the desire of the Lord and the instructions of the Lord, as in the Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures, guided by the spiritual masters, all the doors of inauspiciousness in our hearts will open. All the doors of inauspiciousness, misfortune on our path, they will just clear off. All the padlocks of inauspiciousness will vanish. And all the security men of inauspiciousness and confrontations and temptations will vanish. They will be replaced immediately. You just try to carry out the order of the Lord without editing it. Don't edit the order of the Lord. Try to carry it, and you will see miracles unfold in your life. So Vasudeva, he carried Krishna, and miracles started happening. He crossed, everything opened, he went, deposited, made the exchange, the miracle on this side, miracle on the other side. Then he came back, miracle continues, he entered, put him down, put the exchange down, then the miracle chapter closed. Everybody woke up to see that something wonderful has happened. They don't know what has happened. So please, with our own intelligence, we cannot confront the Yoga Maya of the Lord. Yoga Maya is the internal potency of the Lord. When the Lord wants to create a powerful background for his pastimes, he orders the Yoga Maya to carry out the duty. Yes, Devaki was seriously concerned about her protection because he was under the clutches of Kamsa's, prison and cruelty. So the Lord appeared and he arranged, he did not personally rescue her, he arranged with Yoga Maya to give all protection to Devaki. So 2 ways the Lord gives us protection. If we become devotees, we should not hesitate. There are 2 ways the Lord gives us protection. One, as he said in the Bhagavad Gita, Tesam Satatam, Yuktanam, Bhajatam Putipubakam, the Dami Buddhi Yuganta, from the heart, from within the heart, it instructs, it directs us on what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. That is one way. The second way is that if the situation becomes too tough, he orders Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya, you internal potency of mind, you go ahead and give protection to this person. Protection to this devotee. So your own part is just become a devotee and leave the rest for the Lord. The Lord's protection is there. As we heard in the previous verse, the Lord responds to the dependence, the surrender, the dependence of the devotee. If a devotee depends on the Lord, to the degree it depends on the Lord, to that degree the Lord responds as the author of gratitude. He responds to every single effort we make in trying to surrender to him. So don't doubt the Lord. Don't doubt the Lord. Try to become a devotee and leave the rest for the Lord. As Vasudev did, and all miracles happen. The same miracles are there for you also. So just position yourself, cultivate the proper attitude, then you will continue to count your miracles. Jai Jai Ram. So this is the second component in this chapter. But what happens is this. It is said that Yasoda and Nanda are more fortunate than Devaki and Vasudeva. Why? How? Because the Lord chose to play his pastimes with them. Why did the Lord choose to play the pastime with them? Why? Because Devaki and Vasudev's approach to the Lord was with awe and reverence. They were in awe and reverence. They are Nitya Siddhas, all right? But their activities are Vaikuntha activities. In Vaikuntha, the Lord is worshipped in awe and reverence. The lower mellows, neutrality, servitorship, awe and reverence, they are in Vaikuntha. But the higher mellows are in Goloka. So by this, we can see that the eternal parents of Krishna are Yasoda and Nanda, who are in Goloka. Eternally liberated souls in Goloka. So the pastime, the higher level of pastime, parenthood, friendship, and conjugal, they are in Goloka, not in Vaikuntha. Yes. Later you will see that the Brindavan, okay, we'll come to that. Brindavan, you will see here, is a replica of the original prototype Goloka there. In Goloka, Krishna hardly wears shoes. Krishna doesn't wear shoes, but in Vaikuntha, he wears shoes. So anyway, it's all part of the spiritual world, but Goloka Bhakti is flavored with parental, friendship, and conjugal mellows, which are higher mellows. And that platform cannot be understood by any other person unless a devotee of the Lord. it's a continuous bewildering to the mental speculators. They can't understand how the Supreme Lord can appear as an ordinary person playing, snatching food from his friend's hand. So we shall talk about that when we go to the next component. So this is the second component, compounded, who has become the son of Vasudeva and the pleasure of Devaki. But say higher than that is the next component, the boy of Nanda and the cowherd men of Brindavan. The boy of Nanda, Krishna, the boy of Nanda, and the cowherd men of Brindavan. So when Krishna came to these sides, now as a cowherd boy, his activities are that of an ordinary child. Therefore, a lot of activities that are inconceivable to mental speculators are there. A lot of them. You can start with which one? Is it the killing of Putana? Is butter stealing activity? The Supreme Lord, who is the Supreme Personality of God, the husband of the goddess of fortune. Lasmi Sahasra Satasam Brahma Sevyamanam, as in the Govinda Adipurusam verses of Prema Samhita, is the husband of thousands of goddesses of fortune. Therefore, is unlimitedly opulent. Is the source of all opulences. But here is stealing butter. The supremely opulent one, the husband of the goddesses of fortune, thousands of goddesses, is stealing butter here. As if hungry and, from impoverished, home, and is stealing butter. Not only did he steal butter, after stealing butter, he breaks the butter pot, and when he has no butter to steal, he will pass stool and urine on the clean floor. Very naughty activities, apparently naughty activities, the activities of a naughty child. So how can the impersonalists and mental speculators understand this person as the Supreme Personality of God? They get more bewildered, and that is his purpose, to bewilder the atheists more and more, because they are abudaya. They are abudaya. Their intelligence is unpurified, is contaminated, so they can't understand him, because he said only through devotional service can you understand him. They are not ready to be devotees. So he put them into more illusion by acting as an ordinary, very ordinary person. So the more they try to comprehend, the more they get deluded. Which of the person do you want to say? But from time to time, he flavors it by showing some of his real nature. When he was eating earth as an ordinary child, crawling in the compound, and he was reported, what happened? So mother said, okay, open your mouth if what they are saying is not true, because Balaram himself, your brother, is also telling us the same thing, that you truly ate sand. Open your mouth. Once he opened the mouth, what did she see? She saw the universal form. When you see the whole universes are within the mouth of this little boy, all the universes, including herself, opening his mouth, inside his mouth, she became so confused. She said, what is happening? Have I become mentally deranged? But I'm seeing this. But is it not this? Are the demigods playing a trick on me? Why should they choose me as the object of their Deva Maya? Why? Who am I? Ordinary village girl or village woman. The demigods are choosing me as object of their Deva Maya. Why? Who am I? Am I qualified? No. It's not true. It's not true. All this, put it aside. All what I know is that Krishna is my son. So this is why Yasoda is considered more fortunate, because she never knew Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead at all. All what she knew is that this is my son, this is my son, it is my duty to take care of my son. No matter what, my son must be protected at all costs. I'm ready to do anything to see that my son is protected. That was her concern. If she knew that this was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that mellow wouldn't have flowed. So out of pure, unalloyed, devotion, devoid of mental speculation or any tinge of, awe and reverence. She was able to, play the pastime with the Lord as a true mother. Love beyond mental and intellectual understanding, egoistic understanding, transcendental, pure love. This is the platform of Mother Yasoda. And from time to time, to flavor a Krishna will just reveal himself to her or anybody, but immediately after that, he cover. So let me tell you one thing. This is Brindavan. We are talking about Brindavan and activities in Brindavan. This Brindavan, according to the purport, is a replica of the prototype Brindavan. Prototype, the original Brindavan. But over there, the influence of Mahamaya, Jasna potency, is not there at all. And even in this earthly Vrindavan, it's actually not there for the pure devotees. It's only there for the Avisuddha Buddhaya. Avisuddha Buddhaya. Avisuddha Buddhaya, the mental speculators who think they can understand the Lord with their intelligence by studying the scriptures. This Yoga Maya is here for them. Mahamaya is here for them, but over there in the prototype original Goloka, it is not there. All the activities are purely under the control of the Yoga Maya. And also, actually, this one Brindavan here, earthly Brindavan, is also purely under the control of Yoga Maya. But only the devotees can understand. The non-devotees cannot. Why? Because their intelligence is impure. And why? Because they disregard the lotus feet of the Lord. That's why their intelligence is impure. Therefore, with impure intelligence, they cannot understand. So let me tell you some beautiful features of Vrindavan. These are revelations, please. You should only reveal it to those who you know that are devotees. One, Vrindavan is unlimited. The population of Vrindavan is unlimited. The land of Vrindavan is unlimited. The cows in Vrindavan are unlimited. And Krishna pastimes in Vrindavan are unlimited. In fact, everything in Vrindavan, this earthly Vrindavan you see is unlimited. But this is known only to the devotees. Two, I told you this is a revelation. Two, in this Vrindavan or in Vrindavan, everything adjusts itself automatically to please Krishna. Everything adjusts itself automatically for the pleasure of Krishna. That means if Krishna wants to do anything, everything within Vrindavan will just adjust itself just to create a background for Krishna to do that thing that he wants to do. Everything at all adjusts to enable Krishna play his pastime. The second. Third revelation. This Brindavan can expand. It can expand. The 2 miles of Brindavan can become 200 miles according to need. And it can contract to one mile according to need. So the land of Brindavan is unlimited nature that it can expand and contract to enable Krishna perform his pastime, to facilitate Krishna's pastimes. These are some revelations there. So anyway, after the childhood activities of Krishna that enchanted everyone in Vrindavan to see Krishna as the center, Krishna is the center of all activities in Vrindavan. After those activities, early childhood activities, Krishna performed another set of activities when he attained the age of 6. Where's my phone? When Krishna attained the age of 6, Punganda age, and decided to enter the forest because he was promoted from taking care of ordinary cows, as a very small person between the age of 1 to 5. He was promoted to taking care of cows now. As he attained the age of 6, he was promoted to taking care of full-fledged cows. So at that time, his first day of entering the forest for these activities with the cows, it is called Gopastami. On this day, come and see Prabhu. Come and see Krishna. Krishna was so well dressed in his yellow garments and was sparkling. Balaram in blue. Then no children. Children activities are very ecstatic. All the boys want to follow him into the forest with their cows. All are well dressed now with their sticks to controlling the cows. Krishna with his flute tugged into his dhoti, and he was there entering the forest. As the whole Brindavan the gopis were looking, they were watching, they could not remove their eyes. The young ones and the elderly, in fact, the young ones were casting their sidelong glances on Krishna. How can this our object of love go, disappear from us for this afternoon? Look at his feet. His feet are very tender, and he's going in barefooted. Would his feet be pricked with thorns and everything? Oh, they were pitying for him. Pity out of love and affection. And he was going, glancing at them. Then as he was entering, all the deers, all the cuckoos, all the animals, all the living entities in Brindavan and the forest, all came out. Like a football match is about to commence. So the stadium is full. Everybody came out, both animals and plants, all came to welcome Krishna into the forest. So as he entered, carried the mind of everybody following him, entering, playing his flute, he started enchanting the whole forest. The whole forest became alive. You see the trees start bending down, touching the ground, offering obeisances to Krishna and Balaram. Krishna just looked at Balaram and smiled. And he said, Balaram, can you see how these trees are offering obeisances to you? The flowers started blossoming. They started producing nice aromatic scents. The birds were singing, different types of birds, peacocks, cuckoos, and all the deers and the doe all were running and looking at Krishna. Everything became enchanted like Krishna, especially when he plays the flute. Oh, the parents of the bamboo, the bamboo flute was generated from, all became very, very sorry that they didn't have a direct opportunity to touch the lotus with the lip of Krishna. And, oh, Prabhuji, all the rivers became agitated with the sidelong glances of Krishna. Krishna glanced at the trees and the mountains and the rivers. Everything became alive. And the cowherd boys, the cowherd girls were just lamenting that they're so unfortunate that even the husband and the wife go together to see Krishna. Now they cannot go. They are locked behind. They are so unfortunate. Then upon that, the grasses and the creepers, Krishna stepped on them with his lotus feet. All of them woke up and started fulfilling, all their desires became fulfilled at once. So the whole forest of Brindavan came alive. This is one of the reasons why Krishna is called Madhava. He enchanted the Madhuvan forest. And all the living entities, all the moving and non-moving entities came alive to welcome him, offering obeisances, welcoming him, singing all kinds of songs. And he accepted their services, and they all came in. It was beautiful, Prabhu. Very beautiful. You were there also. Salika, you were there. So, in this way, Krishna entered the forest. But it is said that the cowherd girls are more fortunate because Krishna embraced them with his hand. He embraced them. And this opportunity that the goddess of fortune have been looking for, she has not been able to find. To get Krishna embraced. She could not. But these cowherd girls were so fortunate that they embraced. So in the course of these pastimes, Lord Brahma also was witnessing these activities. Is this the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Because after tending the cows for some time, they become tired somehow, apparently, and they decide to rest. And they all bring out their lunch bags and they started eating lunch and consider the activities. The The one cowherd boy will snatch another cowherd boy's lunch and hide it behind like this and give it to another person. This one will snatch it. Krishna was involved in this snatching of prasada. And Lord Brahma was thinking, what is happening? Is this the supreme personality of God? At a point, he couldn't hold it. This person is only sacrifice, pure sacrifice. But is it the same person snatching lunch from his friend's hands, and what is happening? So he decided to come and test. When he came to test, he was bewildered, he was humiliated, and his position was shown to him. So there is a verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam. There are some verses together, but this particular verse is the third one among the groups. And what is that verse? 10, Srimad Bhagavatam, count to 10, 12, 11. Itam satam brahma sukha anubhutya. It was Lord Brahma who said this prayer. Lord Brahma was speaking to Krishna after he come to repent, come to realize himself. Itam satam brahma sukha anubhutya dasyam gatanam paradai vatena maya sritanam naradarakena sakam vijahru krita punya punjaha. The last one. Itam satam brahma sukha anubhutya dasyam gatanam paradai vatena maya sritanam naradarakena sakam vijahru krita punya punja. The translation there is complicated, but it is extracted here that those who are engaged in self-realization, appreciating the Brahma effulgence of the Lord, and those engaged in devotional service, accepting the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Master, as well as those who are under the clutches of Maya, thinking the Lord to be an ordinary person, cannot understand that certain exalted personalities, after accumulating volumes of pious activities, are now playing with the Lord in friendship as cowherd boys. Okay, this was Sukadev Goswami, instructing Maharaj Parishit. And it's quoted from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya-lila 732. So, it is serious. The Lord cannot be understood. His activities with the cowherd boys and boyfriends cannot be understood by mental speculators, by even those who have accepted devotional service, unless they become really purified and advanced from the stage of sadhana bhakti to spontaneity. They cannot really understand. And those who are under the clutches of Maya, don't talk about them. They cannot understand that certain exalted personalities, after accumulating volumes of pious activities, are now playing with the Supreme Lord as friends, cowherd friends. So Lord Brahma was bewildered, his position was shown to him. So there is something I wanted to, let me not go far yet. Let me talk about the next component. And this component, these activities, ecstatic activities with Krishna and Balaram, and the cowherd boys and the cows and the calves in the forest of Brindavan, they constitute these activities that gave the name Govinda. So here, this next component is that, and the enlivener of the cows and the senses. Krishna is called Govinda because of these activities. He gives enlivenment to the cows and the senses of all the devotees in Vrindavan, the cows, the calves, and all the living entities, actually. That if somebody really wants to be free from all upadis, all designations, sarva upadi vinirimuta, tat paratrena nirmala, iriskena irisikesa, stebanam bhakti. If someone wants to become free from all designations, then he should try to engage all the senses in the service of the master of the senses. Krishna is irisikesa, is Govinda, is the master of the senses, is the master of the cows. Therefore, his activities enliven the cows and give them unlimited unlimited bliss, attaining which there is nothing else to be desired. After attaining which there is nothing else to be desired. Yes, and this is what accounted for when Krishna, after swallowing the forest fire, Krishna, after swallowing the forest fire, the people did not go back to the village. They decided to sleep at the camp. They were supposed to go back to the village to their various homes, but because this one gave opportunity for all of them to see Krishna fully, behold him fully, see him for 24 hours, they all decided to sleep there. They didn't go home. No hunger, no thirst. They just slept there. And they were just beholding Krishna, opportunity to behold Krishna fully. Because to constantly think of Krishna is the goal of life. And when one attains that constant thinking and remembrance of the activities and pastimes of Krishna, it can never feel hunger and thirst. And this is the science Mother Yasoda taught us. Before the binding of Krishna took place, before the Damodara Lila took place, that very day, actually, she decided to churn the butter herself because she had a lot of maid servants, the queen. But she decided to churn the butter so that Krishna, because he was feeling that Krishna is stealing here and there because he didn't want to, he's not getting the best. So he wanted to give him the best of the best. Therefore, she was personally churning butter. And while churning the butter, she was constantly singing all the pastimes of Krishna. This is the formula. The formula for constantly remembering Krishna, Mother Yasoda gave it. We should be constantly chanting the pastimes, his killing of this demon, his killing of this demon, his activities in the cowboy boys, the activities in the forest, all the wonderful things Krishna. She put all of them together in a form of poetry. And she was reciting one another while engaging in the churning of the body. So they say we should learn from this, that if we want to constantly remember Krishna, we should make all Krishna's pastimes we know into some kind of poetry, so some kind of songs, so that we can be singing those songs while we are doing our duties. Whether we are in the office, whether we are driving, whether we are in the school, whether we are going to school or going to work, we can be constantly chanting these pastimes of Krishna. In this way, while doing our prescribed duties, our mind will be constantly absorbed in the thought of Krishna. So it's a formula given. This formula is very important. Why? Because if you go to Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, verse 6, Bhagavatam 2:1-6, there is a verse there corroborating this. Bhagavatam 2:1-6. The formula is there. Etavan Sankhya Yoga Bhyam Swadama Parinisaya Janmalabha Parapumsa Ante Narayana Smriti. Etavan Sankhya Yoga Bhyam Swadama Parinisaya Janmalabha Parapumsa Ante Narayana Smriti. The highest perfection of human life achieved either by complete knowledge of matter and spirit, by practice of mystic powers, or by perfect discharge of occupational duty, is to remember the personality of Godhead at the end of life. So you cannot remember him at the end of life if you are not constantly remembering him now. So to make the matter short, following the footsteps of Mother Yasoda, we should compose individually, according to your taste, all the pastimes of Krishna you know into some song and be singing these songs. You can compose them into audio and be playing the audio where you cannot sing. And you can plug your phone into the ear, your earpiece, and you can be listening to them. In this way, you can constantly remember Krishna, even while doing your prescribed duty. This is the way. Okay? But there is something that is an obstacle on the part of this. False pride. And Krishna does not like false pride. Krishna does not like false pride. And therefore, he wants us to become fully surrendered, removing our false pride. So this 10th canto is dealing with how to purify our subtle body. the mind, the intelligence, and the ego. How to purify our subtle body altogether, the mind, the intelligence, and the ego altogether. This is the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, where you directly deal with Krishna's pastimes. All the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. How to purify the subtle body. So those things that are posing obstacles on the part of the false pride, number one is false pride. On the part of constantly remembering Krishna. The number one is false pride. And this false pride, Krishna does not like it. He doesn't hate the devotee, but he does everything to remove the false pride. Yes. He removed the false pride. You can imagine even Kaliya, who wanted to kill him, attack him, bite him, try to envelop. When Kaliya became sober, Krishna accepted him as a devotee. Indra, he tried to violently attack and devastate, finish Krishna and all his followers in Brindavan, advanced devotees. Krishna just purified his consciousness and humbled him. It is said that Krishna did not just want to humble him, but he wanted to knock down the false ego, the mountain of false ego in Indra. Therefore, he did that pastime of Govardhan Hill, lifting Govardhan Hill. He knocked down the false ego of Indra. Indra came and offered obeisances and started praying, just as Lord Brahma did. He knocked down the false ego of Lord Brahma. He knocked down the false ego of Indra. And Indra came and started praying, trying to purify himself, praying, begging for mercy. He knocked down. So Krishna doesn't like his devotees to parade false ego or false pride. That's why even the gopis who are closest to him, when they started parading false pride, it disappeared from their sight. So the point I'm trying to make is that as individual devotees who want to make advancement on the path of Krishna consciousness, we must learn the art and science of constantly remembering Krishna by composing all his pastimes into poetries, songs. But one obstacle on the path of achieving this is the false ego, which is a universal obstacle, subtle universal obstacle. And Krishna does not like it. The children of false ego is false pride. One of the senior sons is false pride. Krishna doesn't like it. So if his devotee possesses false ego, he has a way of taking away the false ego from him. If you are very opulent and you become very falsely proud, Krishna can take away all the opulence from you so that you can come to your senses and continue from there. You start all over again, as Indra did, as he did to Indra, he did to Lord Brahma. So these are very important points I want to make. Then another component that Lord Krishna as Govinda is more inclined to the Brahmanas and the cows, indicating that human prosperity depends on these two items, namely Brahmanical culture and cow protection. When we say Brahmanical culture, what do we mean exactly? What exactly do we mean? When we say Brahmanical culture, we see that Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita said that he himself established the Varnashram system, that the whole social system is like a social person in which the Brahmana is the head. A society without a head, a body without a head is nobody. A body without a clear head is nobody. Yes. A body without a clear head can never do anything right. Therefore, when somebody has a little mental derangement, his head is not correct, then people look at him as strange because he does strange things. So the Brahmanas are the head of the social body created by Krishna. They have to give direction to the other part of the body, just as the head here is supposed to give direction to the other part of the body. There are 7 holes out of the 9. All the knowledge acquiring, knowledge gathering senses are on the head. 7 out of the 9 holes are on the head, indicating the importance of the head. The head is very important. So if there is sickness in the head, the whole society is actually sick. If there is sickness in the head, the whole society is sick. Sick society. So the Brahmanas or Brahmanical culture, the Brahmanas represent the head of the society. The present society we have is a society without head. Why? Because the qualities of the Brahmanas are peacefulness. There is no peace in this society. Self-control, austerity. There is no self-control. The word self-control is a stranger to many presidents of the world. Self-control. You say, what do you mean by self-control? They are strangers to the word self-control. So how can they control the senses of others? They themselves are not self-control. They don't even know the word. Austerity is a stranger. They have not heard the word austerity before. Austerity of the body, austerity of the mind, austerity of speech. They don't know anything about it. Purity. Where is their purity? When the goal of life is just accumulate wealth at the expense of the society, when they have traded community for commodity. What is the question of purity? Polluted consciousness, selfish consciousness. They are trying to lead the people. Adanta Gobi, Visatan Tamisra. Antaya Tanda, Upaniya Manas. They just, a bunch of blind men leading other blind men. They fall into the same ditch. So this is the present society. The present society is a headless society. No knowledge, no wisdom, no religiousness, no honesty, no tolerance. Therefore, the head is rotten. And this International Society for Krishna Consciousness, out of the mercy, countless mercy of Srila Prabhupada and the Paramparam, is established to create that head and relocate that head where it belongs so that the society can, the social body can still have a head and give hope to people that are coming behind. So the International Society for Krishna Consciousness is created to create Brahmanas. And Krishna is very much inclined to the Brahmanas. That's why when cancer and demons are trying to attack the devotees, they start disturbing all the activities that the Brahmanas are supposed to do, all the religious activities. And cow protection, instead of protecting the cows, they now create slaughterhouses as against temples. Instead of creating temples and places of worship so that the people's mind can be directed to God, they create slaughterhouses where the cows will be slaughtered in style, as if it's part of civilization. So in such a headless social body, what do we expect? What do we expect? At the Devuta pleasure, at the Atmika pleasure, at the Devika pleasure. That is what we should expect. All the miseries you can think of, both the ones coming from the mind and the senses, coming from the environment of the other living entities, from the demigods. This is what we should expect, and that is what's happening. So Krishna is very much inclined to the Brahmanas and the cows. So prosperity in human society depends more on these two items, cow protection and Brahmanical culture. So as sober persons, we should focus on creating proper Brahmanical culture and also protect the cows, because food in the mode of goodness are produced from the products of the cow and they are used for doing jagya. So these are very, very important points. And one almighty formula for arriving at being constantly in thought of Krishna is to see this whole place as part of the kingdom of God. This world we are in is part of the kingdom of God, in which our object of love is God himself. And everything you see in material creation is a paraphernalia for glorifying him. This is the formula. Try to see everything in relation with reality. When you train your eyes and your heart to see everything in relation to this reality, then everything in this world becomes meaningful to you. You become meaningful to yourself and you become meaningful to others. If this is neglected, the converse is the case, and death is there waiting to remind you that we are fools. Take away everything, bring you back to square one, knock down the body with headache, neck ache, nose ache, waist ache, leg aches, and knock down the body. So we should work on our false pride and false ego, all those things that constitute obstacle on the part of our devotional service. Individually, we are nothing without devotion to God. All the things you see in this world are meaningless if devotion to God is not in the center. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, this is a very beautiful verse, and Kunkunti is trying to draw our attention to this, that we should learn how to be grateful for what Krishna has given to us, so that by that, our eyes will be open to everything he has done and the purpose of his creation, the purpose of our existence. We should be able to see this when we develop the attitude of gratitude. If we start saying thank you to God for what he's already doing for us. Thank you, God, for giving us the nostrils. Thank you, God, for making the windpipe, whereby the nostrils, these two holes, can take air into the body. Thank you. Thank you for giving these eyes. We don't know how you did it, but they are functioning in harmony with the sun and the deity of the sun, in charge of the sun, and we are able to see. Thank you for that. Thank you for giving us hands to extract all the things that are going to be a disturbance to us and thereby make life uncomfortable. You created a hole downstairs to offload so that you become free. Thank you for all this. Thank you for designing 2 legs with which I can now put trousers on. Thank you for giving me designing 2 hands with which I can put a shirt and feel like I'm somebody wonderful. And thank you for creating the waist that I can manipulate to look smart and move around. Thank you. Once we develop this attitude, then everything else will become meaningful. We become qualified to get the opulence or share in the opulences of the Lord. And at that time, even though the whole world is given to us as our property, we will not be deluded. We see it in relationship with Krishna. So the almighty formula is to see everything in relationship with Krishna. And the false pride, which constitutes the number 1 obstacle, should be knocked down. And if we are not knocking it down, and Krishna is merciful on us, he is going to help us to knock it down so that we'll be able to see clearly. And it will still keep us in our position as devotees. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity once again. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Your class.
So if there are some questions on this one.
Yeah, in the purport, the beginning, when Kunti was saying he offered obeisances for Krishna, who is the pleasure of Devaki. So my question is, as devotees, can we offer obeisances to a son and say he's the pleasure of his mother or father? Can we, at what time can we say one is a pleasure to his parents, like Kunti is saying here?
Your voice is cracking. I hear some, but
at what time can we offer obeisances to somebody and said he or she is a pleasure to his or her own parents? From the translation, Kunti is saying he offers obeisances to Krishna, who is the pleasure of Devaki, Mother Devaki and Vasudeva.
Yeah. In fact, this word Devaki here, thank you very much. Thank you very much. This Devaki you are seeing is representing you and me. We are all Devakis. You are Devaki, I'm Devaki, Salika is Devaki, Kesava is Devaki, Ganga Prasha is Devaki, Sahadev is Devaki. We are all Devakis. Devakis in the sense that we are trying to become devotees. And there are some obstacles on the part of devotional service. And unless these obstacles are removed, we cannot become proper devotees. So Krishna took time to remove these obstacles. These obstacles were the first 6 sons of Devaki. They constitute the obstacle on the part of pure devotion. And when we say Krishna taking birth, Krishna is already in our hearts. But these obstacles are covering Krishna from manifesting. And to become a proper devotee means we have to remove these obstacles. What are they? Kama, Krodha, Lova, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, anger, greed, illusion, madness, and envy. Lust, anger, greed, illusion, madness, and envy. We have to remove this if we want Krishna to appear in our hearts. We need to, this is individual. Nobody will remove it for you. There are certain things somebody can help you to do, but this ones, you have to do it for yourself. So it's a call for personal application here.
Prabhu, my question is in regard to devotees. We are seeing Devaki is praising Krishna, accepting his pleasure of his parents because he's lovely, making them laugh. But we as devotees, most of our parents are not happy with us for being devotees.
Yeah.
So at what time can we say, you as Chaitanya Prema is a pleasure to your parents?
Oh, Kusha Prabhu. Unfortunately for some of us, our parents are not devotees. So our devotional activities, they are not pleased with them. But they feel that we are supposed to look for money and bring a lot of money for them. You know, as they train us suffering, we have to now suffer and pay back by bringing a lot of money, building houses, bringing cars home, and sending money to them every month. Then they will say, you are a pleasure to us. But the basis of their calculation is completely adverse from that of the devotees. However, if a devotee becomes a sincere devotee on the part of purity, it's already a blessing to the parents. 100 generations behind, 100 generations in the future. So if we can focus on becoming proper devotees despite their miscalculations and therefore pronouncements based on those miscalculations, they will still be benefited. And along the line, when they see that our characters are actually sublime, because a devotee's character is supposed to be sublime, supposed to be completely free from all misgivings. So if our character really becomes like that, we don't steal, we are not hypocrites, we don't say something and do something else, and we are not envious of others, and we are living such a life, generally, eventually, they will come to realize it. But for the fact that they are not all that informed about knowledge about their real identity and the goal of life, what can they do? Their calculations will remain. But you have to, any opportunity you have, to try to let them know that you're actually the blessing to the family. You see, the recalculation of God and the learned people is how much one becomes a devotee. God said that the parent should not become a parent, a father, if you cannot liberate your sons. If you cannot liberate your children, don't become a father. If you cannot liberate, put your children, your dependence on the path of pure devotional service, don't become. They don't know this. So you have to take time to educate them that the devotee is the greatest blessing to any parents. So you should try to do that. Because if you try to dance to their tune and carelessly miss this devotional service, and you go back trying to gather things to please them, if you are not careful and you get lost there, you lose your spiritual goal. At the same time, you will lose your body, and in the process, lose all those things that you struggle to get. You become like foolish. You become a foolish man. Somebody becomes foolish when he's fighting for so many worldly things, investing all his time looking for things of this world, and he leaves the body and leave all of them behind. So, having come in contact with devotees, we should be more careful than even those who don't know about it. We should create a balance. We should try to create a balance. While looking for the things of this world, do not get caught up and get lost because this body you will lose, and all the things associated with the body you will also lose. Let me quote the verse. There's a verse that unless and until one becomes a devotee, where is it? Ayu Arati Vai Pumsa, second canto, third chapter, verse 17. Second canto, third chapter, verse 17. Ayu Harati Vai Pumsa, Udyama Stanchayan Asau, Tasyate Yakshanunita Utama Sloka Bhataya. Both by rising and by setting, the sun decreases the duration of life of everyone, except one who utilizes the time by discussing topics of the all-good personality of Godhead. Ayu Arati Vai Pumsam, Udyan Astanchayan Asau, Tasyate Yakshanunita Utamas Lokavataya. Both by the rising and by setting, the sun decreases the duration of life of everyone, except one who utilizes the time by discussing topics of the all-good personality of Godhead. We should accept this authority of the scripture and not the authority of our deluded brothers and sisters who do not know the goal of life, who think that the goal of life and success is just how much property, physical properties you are able to get, how many houses you are able to build, how many cars you are able to get. These are external, they are not informed about the actual goal of life. So while trying to fulfill this, you have to be careful to protect your devotional service. Maintain a balance. If you are maintaining a balance and focusing on your devotional service while also extending your hand to do these ones, and they still don't accept, be careful not to, because of them, go fully into trying to please them, and in the end, you will not please them because they cannot be pleased, and God will also not be pleased, and the great sages will not be pleased. Therefore, we should try to do that we please God and the devotees, and try to make our parents into understanding what devotional service is, so that they can also appreciate us, that what we are doing is the highest welfare work. Therefore, they are very grateful to have us. Now look at 2:1:11. 2:1:11. Etam nirvidyamanam ichatam akuto bayam yoginam niripanirinitam harinamanuketana. O King, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord after the ways of the great authorities is the doubtless and fearless way of success for all, including those who are free from all material desires, those who are desirous of all material enjoyment, and those who are self-satisfied by dint of transcendental knowledge. Constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord after the ways of the great authorities. This is where our focus should be. Everything else should be complementary, and we should be very careful. Everything else should be complementary. So if you are trying your best in this way, and material things are not very well balanced for you, then you should take it that there are some contaminations that Krishna still want to remove. Some enjoying mentality that is going to be an obstacle on the path of devotional service, Krishna wants to remove. So it poses some apparent difficulties, so that when you pass through it, you get purified and get fully purified. That is how we should take it. That is how we go about it. Hare Krishna.
Next question.
Therefore, in conclusion, a devotee should maintain this consciousness. 10:14:8. 10:14:8. This will be consciousness of the devotee. A devotee should not lament about what is not getting in this world. He should instead be careful to protect the devotional service, which is an eternal treasure. And if things are not going the way these things they should go, it should bring a balanced consciousness, so that in the end, it will still inherit that which is beyond birth and death. Tate anukampam susami shamano bunjana evatma kritam vipakam Ridvad Bapubi Vidadan Namaste Jive tayo muki, padesa dayabak. This will be the mentality of a devotee. That my dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your countless mercy upon him, all the while presently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respect, the faithful obeisance with his heart, words, and body is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. And this is the highest achievement you can have. Okay? So don't, because of the sake of wanting your parents to see you as my pleasure, sacrifice your eternal treasure of devotional service, which you attain after many, many births and deaths. Which, if you lose your human form of life, it will take you a long time, many, many births and deaths to come back to get it again. So let us focus. The body is temporary, that is known. You should take it deep. This body is temporary, it's a sat, and it's full of miseries. And you are going to give it up. Your beards that were black are now turning white. My beards were black before, but now all are white now. Even my hair, all the ones on my hair, my eyebrows are white. So if I'm not careful and I begin to follow this thing that I should have followed earlier, now I leave my body in the process. I am not here, I'm not there. It's a lamentation for me. So we have to be very careful, especially if you are above 40. If you are above 40, don't trade devotional service for anything else. Everything else is complementary. Don't be carried away by anything else, because everything else is just complementary. Your eternal relationship with God is your actual treasure. Hold on to it. You get it after many, many births and deaths. After many lifetimes of changing body, before you get this opportunity to become a devotee, to associate with the devotee. Now, there is a verse that also tells us that the value of association, before you come to get the association of devotees, it takes you many lifetimes. If you go to Canto 1, chapter 18, verse 13, you will see this verse. Canto 1, verse 8, chapter 18, verse 13. You will see that before you get this association of devotees, pure devotees, coming from Srila Prabhupada's line, our Guru Devs, and all these Vaishnavas you are seeing around you, that we are thinking that are ordinary people. Because of some bewilderment, we are thinking that the devotees we are seeing are ordinary. They are not. After many, many births, after so many other accumulating volumes of pious activities, Tulayama Lavena Pi, Na Swagana Punambhavam, Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya, Matya Nam Kim Uta Sisaha, Tulayama Lavena Pi, Na Swagana Punambhavam, Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya, Matya Nam Kim Uta Sisaha. The value of a moment's association with devotee of the Lord cannot even be compared to the attainment of heavenly planets or liberation from matter. And what to speak of worldly benedictions in the form of material prosperity, which are for those who are meant for death. The sages of Namisara were telling Sutta Goswami like that, propelling him to talk more. The sages of Namisara were telling Sutta Goswami like this. So please, let us be careful with this treasure. Let's not joke with it. The greatest loss is the loss of devotees association, because it takes many, many lifetimes to get opportunity to associate with devotees. Look around you, immediately around you. The kamis, the people that are not devotees, the V-kamis, they are not kamis. The V-kamis, whose activities keep only painful results. Look around. They are drinking, they are smoking, they are womanizing, they are meeting and eating and drinking in particular. They think that that's the goal of life. Buying this car, buying that one to allure each other, to try to establish that I'm superior to. They think that is the goal of life. And it's just a funny thing to a devotee. A devotee looks at them and just laughs. Look at these people. They don't even know the goal of life. What are they going to teach their children? When you are completely in ignorance, how can an ignoramus? What can an ignoramus teach to his children? So you lament over them. So we should do everything to protect our devotional service and leave our bodies in the association of devotees chanting around us, trying to help us to remember Krishna more. This is how it should be. We should value the association of devotees. Not even attainment of heavenly planets can be compared to it, nor liberation from matter. What to talk of worldly benedictions in form of material prosperity. These things are just ephemeral, temporary allurements, child's play. You look at your children and you see the toys they are so attached to. You buy some toy airplane for them and they like it so much that if anything, tomorrow bring another one, tomorrow. But you look at, you laugh. They play with it small, they spoil it, they put it aside. So is this toy gathering attitude we should maintain? These are all toys, all this including houses. They are toys. They are toys.
You have another question.
Fighting over land and killing each other over land. And the land will eat them and swallow them. And
are you hearing?
Hare Krishna.
You have another question from Sahadev, Prabhu, please. Sahadev.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Baba.
Well, good seeing you.
And pronounce. You are looking so young.
thank you for the class. It seems the text reminded you of your past times in Brindavan.
It's like I felt that Kunti was going into ecstasy. Once he spoke to this one, he started going into ecstasy. So she herself transferred the whole consciousness to Brindavan consciousness. And she started referring to Devaki and Vasudeva and Nanda Maharaj and the cows and the senses. You see, who is trying to transport us there?
Okay, thank you. So my question has to do with in your ecstatic description of the land of Vrindavan, you did mention that Lord Krishna, when he touched the plants, when he stepped on the grass, they all became alive. So my question is, according to Hare Krishna perspective, what is the difference between alive and non-alive? What is the difference? And I guess based on your answer, I will have a follow-up question.
Okay, the difference is simple. Being alive means in service relationship to Krishna. Yes. Coming alive, just making themselves available for the service of Krishna. Trying to make Krishna, put Krishna in the center. That is the meaning of being alive. They were all adjusting just to facilitate Krishna's pastime. That is their life. But below that, they are not alive. They appear to be alive, but they are not. The life of sense gratification is not life. It's death and dreaming in the death.
So it's alive or not? No, it's non-alive different from death, or they're the same?
Death?
Yes.
It's a living, they were living death. If somebody is a living death, if devotional service is not included in his life, so apparently he appears to be alive, apparently, but in actuality, it's not alive. It's a living death. So put devotional service, that's why all our activities, including occupational duties, if they do not remind you, they do not help you to remember Narayana and Krishna at the end of life, they are a useless waste of time. So that's why Varnashram itself doesn't stand alone. It has to be subordinated to pleasing Krishna. That subordination, that clause of for the pleasure of Krishna is what makes Varnashram glorified.
So does that mean that the trees around where I live, I have trees around here. Are they dead?
If they are hearing you chanting the Maha Mantra, Prabhu, they are alive and they are participating, they are very happy. So what is you do? is to facilitate them by doing your japa around them. As simple as that. In that way, you are helping so many living entities. Instead of weeding and killing all the grasses around your house, plant carpet grasses, water them, don't use chemicals. Water them so that they will be happy. Then under them, many ants will live also. And if you are there chanting your japa, you don't know how many living entities you are liberating. One touch. So this is what we should do. You use every facility provided by Krishna to glorify Krishna, so that let everything around you hear. Then they also get connected. They are reminded, they evolve by your presence or by the influence of your presence as a devotee. This is how it should be. When we are able to see everything in relationship with Krishna, that is reality. At that time, this whole material world, we see it as part of the kingdom of God, in which all the facilities provided here are just to facilitate your devotional service to Krishna. That is how things should be. Anything less than that, there is danger.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I want to say something. Yes.
Yeah, you just mentioned everything in relation to Krishna is good. But you, in your last answer, you were talking purely against material acquisition. How do you know everybody who has material wealth are not seeing it in relation to Krishna?
Okay, I don't need to know. If they are seeing them in relation to Krishna, Krishna knows, and that is okay, because that is the whole perfection. Actually, a devotee is not against material things, and at the same time, he is not crazy after material things. He does his part, and if Krishna brings material things, he knows how to utilize them. And such a person is qualified to get more and more. Even the whole world can be his property, because he knows how to engage it in Krishna consciousness. That's why once you see everything in relationship with Krishna, all glories. So listen to this verse. It's a quotation from Srila Prabhupada's, one of Srila Prabhupada's quotes, verse 36 of chapter 12 or so. That, my dear Lord Krishna, until people become your devotees, their material attachments and desires remain thieves. Their homes remain prisons, and their affectionate dealings for their family members, their affectionate feelings for their family members remain foot shackles. This is verse 36 of, which chapter is this? Chapter 12 or so. Verse 36. Verse 36 of chapter 14. Chapter 14, verse 36. 10th canto, 14th chapter, verse 36. In the purport, you will see this. Now, my dear Lord, or is it the translation itself? If you can preview it for us, we will see. Canto 10, chapter 14, verse 36. My dear Lord Krishna, until people become your devotees, their material attachments and desires remain thieves. Their homes remain prisons, and their affectionate feelings for their family members remain foot shackles. Yes. My dear Lord Krishna, until people become your devotees, their material attachments and desires remain thieves. Their homes remain prisons, and their affectionate feelings for their family members remain foot shackles. Lord Brahma is the most intelligent person in this universe. After he tried to use his mystic power to test the potency of Krishna and got humiliated in the process, he started to confess. He started to confess the glories of devotional service and the glories of Krishna. And it is in that process of begging for forgiveness that he made these statements. It is in that process of begging for forgiveness that Lord Brahma made this statement. He said, my dear Lord Krishna, until people become your devotees, their material attachments and desires remain thieves. Their homes remain prisons, and their affectionate feelings for their family members remain foot shackles. Can you imagine? This is emphatic, isn't it? Lord Brahma is the most intelligent person in this universe. He's not a local person. He's not a local person. Lord Brahma is the most intelligent person. He has 4 heads, even. And he is making this statement. After being humiliated, when he tried to test Krishna's power with his little power that Krishna himself gave to him, Krishna absorbed his power and made him become ordinary. Then he offered obeisance and he started making these prayers, started saying BB words, and he is saying this. He said, my dear Lord Krishna, until people become your devotees, that means if you become a devotee, you are exempted from this statement. But if you are not a devotee, he said, until people become your devotees, their material attachments and desires remain thieves. Their homes remain prisons, and their affectionate dealing or feelings for their family members remain foot shackles. Foot shackles. Karma bandhana.
What verse is that, Prabhu? I'm sorry. What verse is that? From where?
Reaction, further bondage. So become a devotee and just almighty formula. Problem is solved.
Kusha, where's that verse he quoted from?
Hold on. Chaitanya Prema. When you are speaking, also try to listen to somebody saying something. He's asking you what is the verse are you quoting?
Okay.
Keshava Prema is asking what is the verse.
Canto. Yes, 10th canto, 14th chapter, verse 36.
Thank you.
You have
10th canto, 14th chapter, verse 36.
Yeah, he got it. You have next question from Ganga Prashad.
Okay.
Ganga, please.
Hey, Baba. Ganga Raj.
All glories to Guru and
Hey,
Goranga.
Ganga
All
Raj.
glories to Prabhupada.
Thank
you very much for the very ecstatic class.
Oh, Ganga.
Can you hear me?
Oh, glories to you.
Thank you very much for the ecstatic class.
I can hear you.
My question, not really a question, but I just want you to shed light on the Prabhupada statement in the purport 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4th line, it says Queen Kunti specifically adores the incarnation or descent of Lord Krishna above all other incarnations, because in this particular incarnation, he is more approachable. I want you to emphasize or expand on that word. In Krishna's incarnation, he's more approachable.
Okay. Thank you very much. I know you already know, but you just want me to say something to remind that that particular portion was not addressed. Yes. The point is that when somebody is a king, there are a lot of protocols you need to observe to be able to meet and relate with the king. Even if somebody is a president of a country, you know how much protocols one needs to pass through in order to see the president. So many blocks you need to overcome to see. But when somebody is an ordinary person living among us like a neighbor, everybody can in a village as any other person, not any big label attached to him as the supreme personality of God. This is just like any other person there in the village, a village boy. Everybody has opportunity to approach it. If somebody is just very handsome in a village, if you are in a village and you are handsome, or even very fair colored, and you are very handsome, everybody wants to become your friend. And more so when you are handsome and you are able to do wonderful things, extraordinary things, the whole village become your followers. They will have opportunity to associate with you directly, play with you. Everybody want to touch you, and they have opportunity to touch you. They eat lunch with you. They go into the forest with cows with you. It is an open opportunity for everyone. But in the confines of a king and a king palace and protocols, palace protocols, people cannot easily reach you. This is what he's saying, that this incarnation is more merciful, because even though he was born of a king and a queen, humorously, because there is a king and a queen that are in the prison or somebody, but their kings are queens. That's a Christian. Prabhupada specifically put it into brackets to tell you that these are kings and queens who, despite their immediate external condition, their position is that they are kings and queens. And the Supreme Personality of God that appeared through them, even though they were in the prison, they were still kings and queens. So, despite their being in prison, okay. But when they appeared there, they did not stay there. Immediately instructed him, take me across to this place, because Krishna wants to enjoy pastimes, childhood pastimes with Yashoda, which are very uncommon. And you can see that those are the ecstatic pastimes, so ecstatic that it's full of wonders and bewilderment. And Krishna has a way of putting everybody in anxiety first, then we relieve their anxiety. He attracts them. He attracts all their mind, captures all their mind. It becomes the center of their existence, because they see protection directly there. In fact, there are 6 components of surrender. 6 components of surrender. Anukulasya sankalpa, pratikulasya vajana. Accepting all those things favorable for devotional service and rejecting all unfavorable things. 2. 3. The conviction that Krishna will give protection. 4. The acceptance of the Lord as one's guardian and master. Full shelter, full surrender, and humility. These are the 6 components of surrender. In Brindavan life, where everything was centered around Krishna, they didn't seek for any other protection apart from Krishna. So all these 6 components were complete. There in one place, in one stroke. So all the residents of Brindavan, actually, they are pure devotees. They are pure devotees. All of them, they are entourage that came with Krishna to come and play pastimes. So here, all the components of surrender are in one place. How beautiful. So that opportunity to be able to play out this friendship, this higher rasas, where you can be friendly with the Lord, snatch food from his hand, hide it, imitating all of you and the Lord, all imitating peacocks. Imitating peacock. Krishna sometimes imitates peacock dance. He dances so vigorously that all the cowboy boys will be laughing in ecstasy. And they'll be imitating the whooing of the bees, the humming of the bees, the queen of the cuckoos, and imitating different birds. And Krishna will be speaking to the birds in their language, and they will understand. And so many wonderful things. He knows everything, and he's playing all these things out with his friends in a very careless way. At the same time, making them feel that they are all ordinary on the same platform. In fact, when Krishna swallowed the forest fire, he did this in the presence of his friends. And his friends were wondering, who is this person? Is he, the highest they could comprehend is that maybe he's a demigod. And they said, if he's a demigod, then we are also demigods, because we are on equal platform. They don't want to lose his friendship. They ignore his supreme majesty completely. They ignore the supreme majesty of the Lord and relate directly with his higher mellows, starting from friendship, parenthood, then conjugal, which are uncompromisable, because they have accumulated volumes of various activities beyond all those lower stages. They cannot adore the Lord. Say, oh my Lord, you are God and worshiping you. No, they are friends, they are on a higher level. You see, on their level, somebody may think that they are ignorant, but they are not ignorant. they are transcendently absorbed in the melodious pastimes of the Lord. Therefore, His Majesty, well honor and reverent protocols, it doesn't attract them at all. They see beyond it and they relate directly to Him as a friend, as a community lover, as a parent. And this is transcendentally gratifying, unlimitedly purifying. To the extent that when He lifted the governor hill and they stayed under for 7 continuous days, beholding the supremely enchanting, supreme personality of God in the form of a boy, He attracted all their minds. Their mind became saturated with love and affection for Him, so that they didn't remember to eat or drink for 7 days, 7 nights. Krishna did not eat, Krishna did not drink, all the inhabitants did not eat, they did not drink, but they were satisfied, infatuated like this, looking at Krishna. Everybody has the opportunity to look at Krishna for a long time. Not that we place more enter inside the house and they have to tell them to go back to their parents because Krishna wants to rest. This one, everybody had the dash and full for continuous 7 days, no blinking of eyes. And their protection is there. You are saved them from this devastating, water. And this is just jokingly lifted the whole governor hill, not shaking. And he's playing and talking with them. And just there, enchanted, infatuated, continuously for 7 days and 7 nights. So all the components of surrender are there. And these persons are actually, truly more glorious, more enchanting. Therefore, those who are participants there, they are actually more glorious than the other all reference level, whereby parents have to pray for him, turn to the child now. How can you come like fully decorated? How will people think that you are my son? This has not been heard before. The neighbors will ridicule me that I'm telling a lie. So please turn into an ordinary child so that we can relate with you. That kind of level. So thank you very much, Prabhu. Lord Ramachandra was a king, and to see a king and relate with him, there are protocols, all and reverence. That is the platform. But on this other platform of Krishna as the darling of Mother Yasoda, no all reverence, full of contradictory mellows that maximize their ecstasy and love for him. And stealing butter, climbing, exposing the universal form, revealing universal form, making Yasoda think that he's mentally deranged or what? Inconceivable. But yet, say, you are my son. That is what I know. All what I know is that this is my son. Let all these bewilderment go. I'm going to take care of my son. This is a higher mellow. These higher mellows are actually superior.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. I was looking from the point of your class when you said you were talking about Mother Yashoda churning the butter that day for Krishna. And you had recommended that people string Krishna's pastimes and activities into poetry or song, record it, and listen with their headpiece. So I was looking at Krishna's accessibility in relationship with his activities, making him like a household or a talk of the city, where just by mentioning his name, you can easily assess him. So I was looking at it in relationship with the holy name and the chanting.
Yes. That's a powerful angle. Yes, that is it. That is so sweet. And just by chanting his name, all these ones are there and others are added. The pastimes, the name is revealed, the pastimes are revealed, just by associating with devotees. So all glories. Oh Gangaya, all glories to you.
I have one last question for you, Prabhu.
Thank you very much. Yes, Prabhu.
As a teacher of Bhakti Shastri, where are your students?
Don't have data.
These are independent students.
Because one would expect as
I represent all the students. Prabhu. Yes. There are two of my students there. Yes, I have two representatives there. But they are so independent that the heart is the classroom. In a situation where the heart is the classroom, there should be some qualification and good for them to be part of any class. The higher beings are involved in facilitating someone to be part of any particular class. So forgive me, we shall work on it and see.
Sarika has a question.
Hare Krishna.
A comment.
Hare Krishna, Chaitanya Prema Prabhu, thank you very much for the ecstatic class. The thing is that the class wasn't just speaking to us. You took us directly into the Leelas of Lord Krishna and Mother Yasoda and Devaki. It's as if we're right there in Brindavan. That was very powerful. Thank you very much for the ecstatic class. I just wanted to comment.
Thank you for thanking me.
Thank you, Prabhu. So we ask all devotees to unmute yourselves. Let's chant Hare Krishna for Prabhu. 2 hours for comment.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.